Hi everyone, welcome back to your 30-day yoga challenge. I'm Bruce and today is day 12. The theme of today's practice is balance. It's no secret that the yoga practice, of its many benefits, one of them is balance. So what exactly is balance? I'd love to know what balance means to you and whether or not you actually feel that you are balanced when a practice is complete or when you've finished practicing. As far as the physical practice goes, the way that these postures work, in combination, of course, with your breathing and your focus, they help to balance internally the nervous system, the hormonal system, the digestive system, all of these different systems that are at play in keeping you healthy and sound. And then, of course, the asanas or the physical poses also help to cultivate greater balance in the physical poses. So, as far as yoga cliches go, today's practice will be exploring a number of balancing poses. So, when it does come to balance, one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're feeling a lack of it, is to use your drishti, or something that we call a one-pointed gaze, so eyes directly placed on one point, as well as creating a steady breath. And when you do lose your balance, trying not to let yourself get too worked up over it. And I'm only mentioning this because when I teach, or at least in the context of teaching classes in person, I do see, and it happens to all of us, but I see frustration when we're not able to get that balance. So just know that it's something that we work towards, and again, as cliches go, when we fall, the best thing to do is just pick ourselves up and try again. Having said that, let's go ahead and stand at the front of our mat. Okay, as you come to stand at the front part of your mat, have the feet hips distance apart. And although I've been instructing feet hips width apart for most of this challenge, if you prefer having the big toes together, by all means go there. One thing I forgot to mention, you may have noticed I do have a set of blocks. These can be handy for some of the balancing poses. If you don't have blocks, some water bottles, cans, books, anything that can stand upright and be somewhat sturdy. All right, let's come to mountain pose, standing tall with the palms facing forward. Breathe in. Open the mouth. Lift your arms over your head. Inhale, look up. And then fold over your legs with a slight bend of the knees so you feel the chest on the legs. Remember that the hands are lined with the sides of the feet. And with your next inhalation, lengthen through your spine. So really feel like the breastbone is drawing forward. Exhale, fold. Let's come all the way to standing. Reach the arms over your head. Inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands in front of the chest in Namaskara. Now bend your knees, think of reaching your hands down, and then stand up, arms over your head. Bring your left thigh up in towards your chest. Bring your hands together in prayer. Start to bend your right leg, the standing leg, and then stretch your left leg back. For a moment, keep your right knee bent. Can you lift your left leg almost in line with the floor? If you feel that you're not so steady here, you could have your hands on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, let your hands perhaps rest on the thigh. Otherwise, keep your hands together in prayer. Bend your right leg even more, set the hands down, and with your left foot, take a big step back. Lower your left knee on your yoga mat, and then breathe in, stretch your arms over your head, and then with your exhalation, reach your hands back and down, open the chest, and then hands flat on the floor, downward dog, exhale. Inhale forward into plank. On your exhale, lower your knees to hover, meaning don't let the knees touch the floor. Think of creating one line from the Tip of the tailbone towards the crown of your head. And simply press back and up into down dog pose. Okay, lift your heels, look forward to the hands, bend your knees, right foot forward, and then left foot forward, look straight ahead of you. As you inhale, lace the fingers with your right thumb on top and forward fold. Exhale. Take another moment with your arms stretching away from you. And then bend your knees towards a chair, release your hands and lift them up in the air. That's chair pose. Roll onto the balls of the feet if you can, lift both of the heels high. And then bend your knees a little bit deeper. And then with your heels on the floor, straighten the legs, look up, hands to prayer. Start bending the legs, circle your arms to the sides and then up as you restand with your right thigh coming up into the chest. Now notice here that as the right thigh is drawing up, the right ankle is dorsiflexed, or really you're curling the toenails up. Bring your hands towards prayer, bend your left knee slightly, and now as your right leg stretches back, you're going to plantar flex the right ankle or point the toes back so the front of the ankle opens. Now, remember those options, hands to blocks, thigh, or to prayer. Bend your left knee more, set the hands down with in the line of the foot, right foot back. Lower your knee to the mat, and then inhale, lift your arms. Maintain the lift of the chest, bend your elbows, and then reach your hands down, open through the chest. Hands to the floor, downward dog. Exhale. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, bend your knees so they hover. Okay, hover is a word I do like to use in this practice, but trying to keep the knees really lifted. Lifted about 2 or 3 centimeters from the floor. Sometimes I like to play around with bringing the knees as close to the mat as you can without letting them touch. And then down dog, press back. Look to the space of the hands, left foot forward, and then right foot forward. Draw the chest away from the knees, inhale. And with your hands clasping behind you, go ahead with the left thumb on top, forward fold with the arms stretching away from you. Now, while your heels are pressing into the ground, imagine energetically pressing them apart. Feel those inner thighs move away from each other even more, widening the sit bones. Bend your knees, release your hands into chair pose. The chest and the arms lift. We're going to roll onto the balls of our feet. Press down through all 10 toes. See if you can get the heels to come up even higher, but sit lower. Think buttocks in line with knees. If you can, maybe a little bit lower. Now here we're going to keep our heels lifted, press down through the toes, and come all the way up to straight legs. As you come straighter with your knees, draw the tailbone down, lift higher through your arms, and then heels to the floor, hands to namaskara, exhale. Bend your knees, circle your arms. We're gonna stand up, left thigh draws into the chest, right away curl the toes. Kick your left leg back, hands to prayer, but your right knee bends. And then as you're finding a bit more stability, push into the right sole, make your right knee straight. You can bring your hands onto the blocks. You can also stretch forward through your arms. We'll softly step back on the ball of the foot, and this time keep the left knee mostly straight off of the floor. Lift your arms. Place both of your hands down, downward dog. Lift your right leg into the air. And then bend your knee, pulling it all the way forward in towards the chest as you step forward with your right foot. And then from this position, we're going to take our left knee in towards the abdomen and then stand back up with our arms over. Notice there that balance, catching the balance, arms over the head. Whoa. And then left arm underneath the right arm. Need to work a bit on balancing actually. And then left leg wrapping around the right leg. Bring your eyes to rest on one point. Squeeze between the thighs, squeeze between the arms. I want you to maintain the eagle arms, unwrap your left leg, draw it up to the belly. Keep your left thigh lifting, unwrap your arms, lift them into the air. Inhale. Now lower your left foot and bend your knees like chair. Bring your hands to prayer. And then to the right, twist. Hook the elbow just outside of the knee. Drawing back through your buttock bones, forward through the crown of the head, twist. And then untwist, sending your arms back into the air. Chair pose. Take your buttocks lower and then roll onto the balls of the feet yet again. Feel like those heels are pushing into the front of the ankles. Can you start to sit a little bit lower? Just see if your hips can come towards the backs of the ankles. Now keep the heels high. Push slowly, or rather lift slowly as you come all the way up to straight legs once again. Heels to the floor, hands to the heart. Exhale, release your arms. Bend your knees, circle your arms to the sides, and then stand up, right thigh lifting into the belly. Bring hands to prayer, reach your right leg back. And then push into the left sole so your standing knee straightens completely. Try not to open this lifted hip. Keep your right hip rolling down. Perhaps there's a reach of the arms forward. Left leg starts to bend and we land softly on the ball of the right foot. High crescent lunge, lift the arms. So this lunge pose is also very much a balance, a challenge of your balance, because we're on the big toe mound of that back foot. Hands meet the mat, downward dog, stretching that left leg high into the air. Bring the thigh forward into the belly, look to the hands and step your foot forward. Now with your right knee, the back knee, take it into the chest, lifting your heel tight to the buttock. Then stand up, bring your right thigh all the way into the air, arms over your head, right arm under the left arm. And then right leg wrapping around your left leg. Okay, so don't force the foot behind the ankle, just as I did myself there. I should really, lead by example, excuse me. But in any case, focus on squeezing those outer shins, squeezing the arms, and pressing the fingers into each other. Maintain the eagle arms, unwrap your right leg thigh into the belly. Unwrap your arms, lift them high into the air. And then when your right foot hits the mat, chair pose, bend your knees, hands to prayer. Right elbow to the left knee. Perhaps looking at the knees, think of pulling the right knee, the right hip back so the hips are mostly leveled and square. Keep those hips low, untwist. Lift your arms over your head, chair pose. Sit a little deeper, and then hands to the floor, lift the hips, and forward fold. Drawing the chest forward away from the knees, inhale. High plank, exhale, hold. And then bend your elbows as you lower through low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. And then opening through your chest, pushing firmly through the hands, collarbones wide. Downward dog as you exhale. Okay, full breath in and full breath out. Lift the right leg high into the air, inhale. Look forward, right foot between the hands. With your right hand, bring it slightly forward, or bring your right hand in front of the baby toe, and it's gonna end up maybe slightly off of your mat. Lift your left leg, bring your left hand to the hip, and see if you can start lifting the inside of your left thigh higher, okay? So here, if you can look at your right knee and think of rotating the hip so that your right knee points straight ahead. We call this pose Ardha Chandrasana, or half moon pose. You can keep your left hand on the hip, or you can lift your left arm high into the air. Looking down will be the greatest help for your balance. As you start to feel more stable, you can look to the left or even up towards your left thumb. Let's all look down, place the left hand on the floor, square the hips, and then step the left foot back, downward dog, right foot back. Inhale. Press firmly through the thighs, exhale. Stretch the left leg in the sky, inhale. And then look to the hand, step forward. Step closer to your left thumb. Now, what I should have said on the first side is here, a block or some substitute might be handy, but similarly, it's still in front of the baby toe. You bring that left hand forward. Slowly draw that right leg in, right hand to the hip as you open towards the right side. And when I say open, think of turning the front of the right thigh, the front of the stomach, the front of the chest, towards the right wall. I'm going to look down the whole while. And then for those of you who feel more stable, right arm can lift. And when you feel stable still, looking to the right wall, or perhaps up towards your thumb. Right leg higher. Look down, right hand to the floor, square those hips off. Right foot back to plank, left foot to down dog. Okay, close your eyes. Breathe out. Okay, 3 more breaths. Lower down into the knees. If you would like to take a child's pose, please go there. Otherwise, you can sit up nice and tall in a hero position, closing the eyes. Keeping the eyes closed, I should say. Thankful to this practice for creating a sense of balance in our body as well as in our days. Thank you all for joining today. See you tomorrow. Namaste.